Hey guys, it's Jonah here, back with another beer review. And yeah, we went shopping yesterday, and I saw this beer, and I thought, yeah, I've had it, or I've had was it last year or perhaps the year before version of this, which is slightly different. And I saw it, and it was a can for £5, and I was thinking, oh my God, should I have this? But when you got a special edition beer that comes up, once a year or once every couple of years. Hey, I wouldn't usually pay a £5 for a beer in the supermarket, but I did for this one. And as you could tell from the title, it's the Northern Monk Death Star beer, and this is Death Star Episode 3, Dulce de Leche, Imperial Stout at 10.5%. This is the Twist edition, and each time they do something slightly different. So the first one, it just was an Imperial Stout. The episode 2, the Phantom Jobby, or was that the first one? I don't know. Death Star Films, whatever. Anyway, the second one was a peanut butter stout, and this one is Dulce de Leche, which is kind of a condensed milk, condensed sweet milk. Now, I don't know if they put any in here. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, all I do know is the first two were 12% beers. This has gone down a bit to 10.5. So it better be good. And I had this one, I think, not that long ago, beginning of this year, perhaps, although it's been sitting around for a while. Brewed in the north with Simon Wynn. And apparently he's a strong man. He's lifted 8 out of Scotland's manhood stones. Right, let's have a look. So, Northern Monk up in Leeds. You can pause the video and read all this nonsense, but I'm looking at what it's got in it, which is at an angle. So we have got water, malted barley, oats, bit of lactose. Oh, it does have Dulce de leche flavouring. That could mean absolutely anything at all. Oh, in case you're wondering, because it's Sunday, I've got my MotoGP hat on. I'm not going to let the give the game up, but it's quite interesting. MotoGP is amazing. So if you look up here, it says chocolate, caramel, and sweet. So you could say this is an imperial pastry stout. And there's some apocalyptic kind of thing going on in the background. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they're drinking the water out of or the dulce de leche out of the river, and all sorts of absolute craziness. So, is this beer worth a £5? If I was buying it from a pub, I wouldn't mind so much, although £5 is reasonably expensive. I was recently up in London, and one of the guys I just sat next to, he was a northerner. I think he was from Manchester, so the other side of the Pennines, but he got a pint of Guinness and it was £7.50. And I was just like, what? I can buy a 4-pack in the supermarket of Nigerian extra Guinness, which is ridiculously strong, and still have some change for 1 pint of normal Guinness. It's getting stupid, the price of things, really is. It's a little bit shaken up, so I'm really hoping that this doesn't blow up on my face or my hands. Let me try and do my special. Open it a little bit, let the gas out. Well, actually, that's not so bad. Oh, dark wrongness. Here we go. We have got my fluted glass. Wow, there is not too much head on this bad boy. Maybe sometimes with strong beers, you don't get that much head purely because they're damn strong. Oh, I am getting the head now. Wow. And I believe this is a 440, is it? Yeah, 440 can, 10.5%. Ridiculous. Wow, good 2 fingers worth of head, and it's sort of marble coloured head. It is not just one colour, it is slightly darker colour, and then there we go. Well, actually, not bad tan colour. And look at that, jet black. There is nothing to see at the bottom, as I usually say you can see through, but this one, no chance. So there's the Death Star. We'll do one of those for posterity, and you might have even seen it at the front of the video. Don't always do it, but I do it sometimes. Always try and come up with new ideas for my photos on the front of my videos, because some people do an amazing job and put all sorts of editing and that kind of stuff, but you know me, I like to do my one-shot wonders. Wow, epic. So definitely getting a kind of sweet aroma with coffee, with chocolate as well. But I am getting the sweet aroma. I'm getting the kind of lacto type or the lacto type sugar, which is no surprise because obviously if it's condensed sweet sugar, milk sugar, I think they're playing on the fact that it's got lactose in it, which is a milk sugar, and that obviously bumps the ABV up. Sometimes though, what happens, because it's a non-fermentable sugar, you put a tiny bit too much in to try and balance the alcohol, to balance the taste. Maybe that's why this is only 10.5%, because the last year's one, or however long ago it was, maybe a couple of years ago, in the first one, the original Death Star, that got destroyed by Luke Skywalker. Yeah, they were both at 12%, which is absolutely ridiculous for a beer. But this one is a substantial drop, over 10% drop. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, let us dig in, my fellow Death Star riders, whatever that is. Oh, and if you like this beer review, click like, click subscribe down below. Send me a comment just to appease the elder gods of YouTube. Cheers and beers. Whoa. So, Jesus. Up front, tiny bit of bitterness, followed by sweetness. Then, as you swallow, you get hit by this kind of dark, sort of caramelized toffee thing going on, which is absolutely crazy. And then, obviously, the hit by the fact that this is a 12, well, is a 10.5. I was going to say 12 because the other one was a 10.5% beer. Wow. And everything is dialed up to the maximum. So the sweetness is really sweet. The kind of astringency stroke burnt cinder toffee type taste is way up on the scale. I'm also getting a weird taste of kind of like banana, and then you get the coffee, but it's like it's the bitterness, so it does go a bit bitter towards the end, which I'm not too fond of. So you got rid of all the sweetness, and then there's the bitterness that lingers, and then yeah, there's obviously a kind of milkshakey milk taste in there too. I'd say that milk taste was, although it's got sweetness in and it's got carbonation too, yeah, that milk taste is a tiny bit sour, which is weird considering it's lactose, which is a milk sugar. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they added it, which would be nice. Was it always there? Did they chuck it in the boil? Don't know. Got absolutely no idea what the hops are in this bad boy. You can taste a little bit of hop bitterness, but this is not about the hops. This is all about the malts. This is about turning to the dark side and riding on the Death Star. Jesus. I think perhaps, I think perhaps I preferred the peanut one, the peanut butter one. But this is not bad at all. It's just a bit full on for your senses. Let's dive in for some more. Don't think I'll finish this whole beer on camera though. Oh, sweet, roastiness, toffee, cinder. Then the bitterness comes through. The astringency's in there too. There's a residual kind of stickiness on my lips. This is definitely, I'd say this is more like a pastry stout than an imperial stout, which is good because I think that's probably what I prefer. Some imperial stouts can get really, really bitter. And this one, although it's there, it's been balanced out a little bit by the added sugar. So that's always good. Let me go back to the can. Yeah, so it's got oats in there. Yeah, and some other weird stuff. I was wondering because we've definitely got the nice tide lines on here. And I'm almost convinced that these are from the addition of oats now. Weirdly though, there are some beers that don't have any oats and you get them. And some beers that, like an oatmeal stout, for example, and you don't get them either. So it's hit or miss. But this has definitely got oats in, and this has got some really thick tide lines on the side of the glass, which is always good. And because the head, which has gone in the middle but still sticking to the sides of the glass, is not perfect white. It's like a, wow, there is some carbonation there, and no mistake. Yeah, because it's a different colour, it is so much more pronounced. I think if I were to leave, I'm not going to, but if I were to leave this glass out overnight, I could get a knife, like a penknife or something, and scrape the crystallized head off the side of this glass, because I think it's going to stick around all night. Wow. Let me go for another sample before I totally lose the plot and lose some of you viewers. There is another one, a third tide line there. Now that sugar and that caramel kind of taste is really overpowering everything else as I get to the bottom of the bottle, at the can, the glass. Wow, super duper. Now, the other thing is, I'm pretty convinced this has only been released in the last few days, perhaps even in the last week, because it wasn't at the supermarket that I go to usually, and we went there last Saturday. It wasn't there, but it was there, so it's been released this week. And I've seen a couple of other reviews, but only from the last couple of days. And on Untapped, which is where I do my beer ticking predominantly, none of my friends have ticked this one off. So I'm the first person to tick this beer off from my friendship. Although some other people have uploaded it. So if you want to be my friend on Untapped and you have drunk this beer, why not connect with me? My link is in the description below. Yeah, and we can definitely do some beer ticking exploits together. But as I say, yep, I've seen one other review so far. So this will probably be the second YouTube review of this beer. And no one that knows me on Untapped has ticked this beer, although a couple of people have ticked it. Bear in mind, this is the episode 3 version, not the episode 2, which some people might still be aging. Absolutely brilliant beer. Is it better than the Vocation Imperial Banana beer? No, I don't think it has. And that, I think, is going to be my beer of the year. But we'll see what happens. There's time yet. There's another kind of 2.5 months to go. This has been Unclejona drinking Imperial Death Star beers and going into the Star Wars universe. So you guys don't have to. Whether you're on the light side or the dark side, drink some beer, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more beer reviews. Shaman.